This is Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The rough season of Bay Area football continued yesterday. The Raiders fell to 1-4 with a 26-10 loss to the Chargers down in Los Angeles, while the 49ers also fell to 1-4. They've now lost 3 straight after the Cardinals, the previously winless Cardinals, beat them 28-18 in Santa Clara. The Brewers completed a sweep of the Rockies with a 6-0 victory at Coors Field in their National League Division Series, so they're on to the Championship Series. And the Braves narrowly avoided a sweep, beating the Dodgers 6-5 last night in Atlanta. Game 4 of that series is later on this afternoon. The Astros will go for a sweep of the Indians in Cleveland. That's later on this morning. And then Game 3 of the Yankees and Red Sox is tonight. That series is tied at 1. Those are your top stories. And now it's time for the second hour of The Drive with Carmichael Dave on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what? Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning. You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
Just real quick, because we're going to talk Kings in this segment, but I got to say something. We talked a little UFC in the last segment. During the break, we'll get some texts right now, and I'm not going to go off on these guys because I get it. Connor's a badass, but he has no heart. He tapped to a rear naked choke that wasn't under the chin. If nothing's going to break, the real dudes don't tap. And then another one, Connor refuses to work on his ground game. Guys, listen, I don't mean to sound like this, but I'm going to, you just don't know what you're talking about. That was a neck crank as much as a choke. And I would invite you. I'll set it up, I promise. I know you guys aren't professional fighters, and you don't claim to be. In fact, one even said I'd have tapped in the pre-fight warm-up. But have a fighter. Hell, come down here, and I will throw down a neck crank on you. I'm not a fighter. And see how long it takes. Conor McGregor knew he was done. And he knew there was no escape. There's no there's no upside to being laid out unconscious on the mat. Well, God knows what happens. When you're done, you tap out. There was no escape. And as far as him working on his ground game, it's all he did in camp damn near is work on his ground game. Worked on his ground game massively, but you can't learn a ground game in, a few months or over a couple of years, split in time between stand-up and ground, and beat a guy that literally wrestled bears growing up. He didn't tap early versus Nate Diaz. He was laid out in a position that was inescapable.
Yeah, go look at – I have 2 things on this. Go watch John Jones against Shogun Rua and what happens when you don't tap, because that was ugly.
Yeah, you get laid out.
Yeah, and then there's pictures of you with your mouth open,
right,
all just
like you're
mushed on the – yeah.
And for what?
And the people who don't – like, dude, it's a sport. Like, it's a game.
Right.
I know it's such a, primal thing because they're fighting, but, it's a sport at the end of the day. And when you lose, it's like when an opposing football team puts in their backup quarterback when they're down by 30 with 2 minutes left.
Right.
Like, it's just like, all right, I lost. The other thing.
By the way, to your point, before you move on, by the way, we're not factoring in the fact that you've been going at it for 3 rounds plus. You are breathing heavily, and your blood and your windpipe just got cut off. Try running around your house for 5 minutes and then holding your breath for 5 seconds and see how that works for you.
And just you're just getting your ass kicked.
Right. It's
just like,
you didn't quit.
Yeah.
That's part of the sport.
Yes.
What was your second thing?
The second thing, and maybe this is what you were talking about while I was editing stuff here, but did it seem like Habib held that way after the tap?
Oh, no, he did. There was no seam. He did.
Okay.
He 100% did. And that's
because Connor taps initially.
Yes.
Then he taps the mat.
Right.
And then he goes and he's like.
Right. That was 1 billion% on purpose. And that's part of what started that fight we'll talk about later between him and one of Connor's coaches. So we can't criticize a fighter unless we can do it ourselves. I'm not a fighter. No, it's not that. It's just understand what you're talking about. And if you're, and I also don't like demeaning casual fans either, but I'm trying to help you understand that what you're saying, so when you talk to your friends, you don't look foolish. what you're saying is silly. It's a silly take.
Yeah, had he gotten punched in the face once and gone, you know what? I'm done. I'm tapping out.
That's quitting.
Yeah, or
There's examples of this.
yes, we've seen that before. He got choked out
And
It
mauled for
happens,
3.5 rounds.
Yeah.
And got tagged with an amazing wind-up punch, like a Mike Tyson's punch-out super punch, and got up. Like Conor McGregor, listen, I got a lot of issues with Conor McGregor. I don't question his heart. I don't question his fight acumen. I don't question the guy made $100 million last year, and he's still coming back to do this. He didn't have to do that. I have no problems with Conor McGregor's heart. His skill level on the ground, though. Anyways, we'll get to that more of that at 8:35. The Kings lost to the Warriors in Seattle. What are the upsides for the Sacramento Kings from this game? Because Lord knows we could talk about downsides all day long. Well, Harry Giles had 17 points and 5 boards in 20 minutes. He continues to have a fairly impressive preseason. Cam Reynolds had 9 points in 5 minutes. That's one more point than Justin Jackson had in 27. I'm going to say something about Justin Jackson here, and I'm going to say this because I've put the disclaimer on it a billion times. Justin Jackson, friend of the show. Justin Jackson, great guy. I'm not going to disrespect Justin Jackson by not criticizing him because he's a nice person. I have too much respect for him as a person. And I'm going to treat him like I would treat, as everybody should. I'm going to treat him as if he wasn't a nice guy, or I didn't like him personally, or I wasn't rooting for him. But if Justin Jackson was undrafted like Wenyen Gabriel, and Wenyen Gabriel had been drafted number 15 last year, I believe Justin Jackson would be getting cut at the end of training camp, unless he changes it around. Here's what we know about Justin Jackson so far. We know his jersey's hanging in the rafters in North Carolina, and that is not easy to do.
Right.
We know that he is a good, grounded young man who works his fanny off. But the NBA graveyard is filled with players that kill it in practice, that impress the hell out of coaches and fellow players, and when the lights come on, for whatever reason, they flat disappear. And that was Jackson's MO last year. He woke us up a little bit in Summer League after having a terrible start and then showed that he absolutely can score. But here in the preseason, we're back to the same thing we saw out of Justin Jackson 90% of the time last year. The guy is out there on the floor. He's playing, but he is completely and utterly invisible. Now, he had 8 points, 8 late points in those 27 minutes. I do not believe he scored in the first quarter.
Letting his other teammates get involved early is what I'm seeing there.
Marvin Bagley had 8 points and 9 boards. We're going to see a lot of that out of him.
No rebounds for Justin Jackson. Boxing out.
No
Boxing out
rebounds.
defenders.
No assists.
Moving guys around.
No steals.
No assists. He's moving off the ball, setting screens.
No blocks.
Love it. He's obviously just a dynamite perimeter defender. He's not going to be down getting blocks.
Correct. And he was letting the other players on the team get block shots like Willie Cauley-Stein and Wenyen Gabriel with a grand total of 2 all night.
Exactly.
That for the team. There's a lot of pressure on Dave Yeager this year. I know he's trying to figure stuff out right now. But going into this season, if this continues the way it looks like it will, I don't see a reason why you don't start Harry Giles. I mean, going into this season, start Harry Giles, start Marvin Bagley, go from there. You're not winning ball games. And Harry Giles has been arguably, along with Fox, who had a terrible game, or should I say nothing near what he had in that Laker game, Harry Giles might be their best player in preseason so far. And all we've heard about is him coming out of high school and how amazing he was, his road back, his work ethic, all the players talking about and coaches how great he was in practice last year. And listen, he's not scoring 40 and rebounding 20 a game. But the guy's, I believe, damn near averaging a double-double in the preseason. That's what you want to see. Treat him like a top pick. Ben McLemore came in and 7 points. Here's what happened. Klay Thompson plays the Kings and he goes ballistic. Kevin Durant, big homecoming for him. And he had 26 and 6 in 26 minutes. Bottom line, Kings got destroyed. They have their home opener, preseason opener tonight against Maccabi Haifa. They'll win tonight.
You hope.
Knock on wood. Very good to see basketball back in Seattle. And the last thing I'll say about all this is this, Kyle. I was looking at the NBA's Twitter feed during the game. That combined with they had their number one team, Breen and Jeff Van Gundy, out there. Half of the game was about how amazing the crowd was and how can there not be basketball here. Kevin Durant, one of their signature players, coming out in a Sonics jersey. This, more than anything I've seen before, tells me that the NBA is gearing up and has already geared up behind the scenes to bring basketball back to Seattle.
Did you see Steve Kerr wearing a Sonics shirt in his press conference?
I did. There is no way they do basically a 3-hour national television infomercial with their number one team, the ESPN's North. There is no way that happens politically if they're not ready. And this $700 million refurb, which, by the way, is more than Golden One Center cost, this refurb of Key Arena, that's a very specific step. It's obviously to get hockey. They're getting basketball. And I believe they're going to get, I don't think it's expansion, Kyle. I think they're getting either the New Orleans Pelicans or the Memphis Grizzlies. And I would actually put a decent amount of money on that. One of those two teams is going to be playing in Seattle here within the next couple of years. And the dark horse is going to be the LA Clippers and Steve Ballmer if they can't figure out a situation with Staples Center. Yes. That'll happen just like that. But basketball, make no mistake, is going back to Seattle. And that, I think, is a good thing for everybody. We'll take a break. 4 down territory. We'll get back to football next. We have 4 down next. We're going to talk Niners-Raiders at 7:35. We'll talk about the rest of the NFL, including the Chiefs and Jags marquee matchup in which Kyle said the Jags were going to blow out the Chiefs. I can't believe he said that. And then Nostradamus coming up a little bit later. A lot of football next right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Food and music are about to collide with Downtown Showdown, featuring performances from 80s icon Sheila E., ex-ambassadors, and country star Chris Jensen. We're taking over Capitol Mall with 3 blocks of food trucks, interactive vendors, games, and great music. It's Downtown Showdown, Saturday, October 20th from 11 to 5 at Capitol Mall. Tickets are just $20. Get more information at khtk.com.
If you're over 55, have $500,000 in liquid assets, and are worried about retirement, the next 45 seconds can give you the financial security that you're looking for. Best-selling authors and financial experts Jim Files and Dan Ahmed of Peak Financial Freedom would like to give you a guaranteed plan for your retirement where you'll never run out of money. Dial pound 250 and say the keyword money to set up a meeting with Dan and Jim to review your retirement game plan. You can hear Jim and Dan every Saturday morning right here on Sports 1140 from 8 to 9 when they host their financial strategy show 50 Shades of Money. But don't wait until Saturday. Simply dial pound 250 from your mobile phone and say the keyword money. If you're ready for Jim and Dan to give you a free written plan that will ensure your retirement plan is rock solid, dial pound 250 right now. Say the keyword money and set up your free financial review with Peak Financial Freedom.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, brought to you by Beacon Roofing. If you're a roofing contractor, save time and cash with Beacon Pro Plus app. Yesterday, all 4 rookie starting quarterbacks were winners. Baker Mayfield's Browns took Baltimore into overtime and emerged with Cleveland's first Sunday victory since December 2015. Here in New York, the Jets' Sam Darnold fired 3 touchdown passes and rode Isaiah Crowell's franchise record 219 yards rushing to victory over Denver. Arizona's Josh Rosen and Buffalo's Josh Allen also tallied W's. Elsewhere, Cincinnati overcame a 17-0 third-quarter deficit to beat Miami. Patrick Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown pass, but he did run for one and put a 30 spot on the vaunted Jaguars defense. Meantime, Sean McVay went for it on 4th and 1 on his own 42 with 1:39 left to seal the deal for the Rams in Seattle. I'm Boomer Esiason.
How do smart, hard-working roofing contractors like you keep jobs running smoothly? They save time with Beacon. The Beacon Pro Plus app features perfect order templates. Select products like GAF's Timberline Ultra HD shingles with new StainGuard Plus technology. Enter color, quantity, and the app does the rest. With Beacon Pro Plus, order 24/7 from anywhere. You work hard. Now work smarter. Download the free app at beaconproplus.com.
I used to have a sweet tooth. Had it removed when I was a kid. So what do I crave instead of chocolate? A big red box from Grainger. Grainger satisfies my craving for great customer service with 24/7 support, effortless ordering, and same-day pickup or next-day delivery options. No busy signals, no cavities. I love Grainger. You know why? Because when it comes to reliable product and technical support, Grainger's got your back. Call or click Grainger.com to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it.
If you need a work truck, you need a dealer who works as hard as you, like Maida Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, a business elite dealer. Maida Chevy has the commercial vehicle you're looking for. Work-ready Silverados, express vans, commercial loaners, and so much more. All backed by Maida Chevy pros who know your vehicles are your livelihood. Whether you need one vehicle or an entire fleet, Maida Chevy's got you covered. Business elite at Maida Chevy, Sacramento's #1 Chevy dealer for over 10 years. Find new roads.
Sacramento retail sales.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Stock on hand and approved customer credit. See dealer for details.
Here, Roseville, think Lexus. Now think the L Certified Fall Collection event. Cream of the Crop Certified's available right now at Lexus of Roseville, located in the Roseville Auto Mall.
Lexus Roseville. Rayleigh's in Bel Air brings you this look at weather. We're going to be sunny and warm today. Let's call it 85 degrees for this afternoon. At Rayleigh's in Bel Air, get Foster Farms Split Chicken Breasts Value Pack with ribs attached, only 97 cents a pound. And this week, get Fuji apples for just 97 cents a pound. However you eat, this is how you save.
It's time for 4 Down Territory. On the drive, first down.
4 Down Territory, brought to you by Firewings. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. Question 1, or first down.
What was your game of the weekend?
In retrospect now. So not Chiefs-Jags because it was a blowout. Everyone understand the question. In retrospect, what was your entertaining game of the weekend? There were a few. I'm going to say Rams-Seahawks. That was a fun game.
Yeah, it was.
That was a fun game.
I predicted a blowout on that one, too.
I understand why you did. But you have Seattle playing at home in front of that crowd, and as much as I can't stand the Seahawks, that crowd is insane.
Is it?
That crowd, dude, that stadium was built for that type of home field advantage. What?
I'm really annoyed that you said that to me. Like I didn't know that.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that like to you. I was saying that in general.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying you said is it, and I was answering the question. Yeah. I hate the Seahawks, but I acknowledge that that's a home field advantage.
Uh-huh.
You agree?
Sure.
You don't.
No, I mean, it is when there are people there and they're being loud.
There were people there yesterday, and they were loud.
Okay.
And that got to the Rams a little bit. I think you got a lot of pride on the Seahawks side, and that's why they were in this game. I think if this game's down in Los Angeles, I do think it's a blowout. But I like that because it isn't on any given Sunday. And you saw the Rams get punched in the mouth a couple times, and they bent, but they didn't break. And that front line got dominated by the Seahawks offensive line yesterday. Absolutely. They were pushing that ball, and their rushing game was on point. I thought it was a very entertaining game.
Yeah, and I know it's October, and so many things changed between October, 7th, 8th? Between 8th. October 8th and December 31st.
Yeah.
But is the Rams defense good?
I think the Rams I will say this, and then we got to go to second down. This is my opinion. I think that front line on the Rams defense is the equivalent right now to the boxer that only headhunts and doesn't like to throw body blows. Yeah. I think right now all they want to do is kill the quarterback.
Yeah.
But they have to remember sometimes you just got to stop the run.
Right.
And that's not as fun.
Panthers-Giants is mine.
Panthers-Giants was a fun game too, man. And we've got a little bit on that later. We have some audio for you. Second down.
Second down.
Are we ready to believe in the Bengals?
Nope. Nope.
Dude.
Nope.
I'm so happy you said that.
No. Can I give you my 2-word thesis on why I'm not ready to believe in the Bengals, who are 4-1, who have beaten the Colts and the Ravens, the Falcons and the Dolphins, and lost to the Panthers by 10?
Does it rhyme with Plarvin Pluis?
Hey, we're on the same page. Because Marvin Lewis is their head coach. I never believe. You think Hugh Jackson shouldn't have a job? Marvin Lewis shouldn't have had a job years ago. He's a nice guy. He's a good football mind. He'll probably be a great coordinator someday. But there's just something in Cincinnati. Bad teams have this habit. Watch what I'm about to do here. Perennially bad teams sometimes have a habit of doing one or two things. They either recycle everybody super quick, and then they get so scared of having that reputation that they hold on to people too long. And Marvin Lewis is a great example of that. Should not be there.
Yeah, the one thing that's different this year is Andy Dalton has been playing out of his mind.
Wait, but hold on. We haven't seen Andy Dalton have great stretches of games before? Have we really not seen that?
No, I mean, we have.
Right.
I don't believe in I'm not there.
I understand.
But Andy Dalton's playing really well.
Yes.
That defensive line with Carl Lawson and Geno Atkins is fantastic. So there's pieces there, but it all comes back to they opted to bring Marvin Lewis back.
Yep.
And if you keep running into the same problem, which the Bengals have during Marvin Lewis's time, you got to start identifying that what you have is the problem.
Joe Mixon coming back helped them quite a bit, especially with Giovanni Bernard being out. 8-8. 8-8, 7-9, 9-7.
Really?
8-8, 7-9, 9-7.
I think they can go 10-6. That's not a good division they're in.
Meh. Third down.
But first round playoff loss.
Yeah. Third. No.
Third down.
No.
Really?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I'll tell you something.
Revisit this. That's fine.
Let me make an outlandish prediction.
Okay.
I think in the second half of the year, they're going to have the worst record in that division. Out of all the teams in the AFC
in their
North,
final 8 games,
they will have a worse record for the final 8 games than the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens.
Okay. Long range Nostradamus.
Long range Nostradamus.
Pulling up from 30. What do you see wrong with the Eagles?
I think the snap judgment would be, well, something's obviously wrong with Carson Wentz. But Nick Foles lost in that second game of the season. Here's what I think's wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm sure there's a couple of quick things we could point to. But I think it's why it's so difficult to repeat in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. It was a huge moment for Philadelphia. It was their first Super Bowl. Everybody's crazy. And Jason Kelce dressed up and blah, blah, blah. The problem is that you go into the following season, we've heard this before, with a big, fat target on your back. It's the game of the year for everybody playing you. And I don't think they're used to that. I think talent is talent. It'll work itself out. I think they'll make the playoffs this year. But I think right now they're experiencing a Super Bowl hangover. That's the problem. By the way, Kyle, their losses, they've lost by 6, 3, and 2. So conversely, they've won by 4 and 6 over the Colts and Falcons.
The issue runs in. They were down big late yesterday.
Sure.
I outscored the Vikings 15-3 in the fourth quarter to make that game close.
Yeah, the Vikings.
They were up 17-3 on the Titans and had a whole bunch of opportunities to win and didn't.
Yep.
Their defensive line is terrific. Their defensive backfield is banged up and not nearly as good as it was last year. They lost Patrick Robinson, who is a slot corner. He's a free agent. New Orleans, I think he ended up with. But he was a really good player for them last year, and they're just not quite the same defensively. And as you mentioned, Carson Wentz is still coming back off an ACL. It's going to take him a little while to get reacclimated.
Fourth down.
Fourth down. Fourth down.
Are the Panthers for real?
That's a dumb question, Kyle. I saw them play yesterday. What do you think? They're fake? Are they
well, no, I'm just wondering if we are living in a simulation.
The Panthers are 3-1. I'm really not ready to believe in them yet. Now, they have a superstar in Cam Newton. I love Christian McCaffrey. The receivers are fine. But you needed a 60,000-yard field goal out of Florida State's Graham Gano to pull off a 2-point victory over the 1-4 Giants at home. The 1-4 Giants in which their best quarterback might, in fact, be Odell Beckham Jr. So I'm not going to look at yesterday and go, oh, yeah, bro, the Panthers might. Then an 8-point win over the Cowboys at home. They did beat the Bengals. And then they have who we don't believe in. And then they had a 2-point victory over the Giants. They lost in Atlanta by 7. That's that's an Atlanta team that has not started off well, 1-4. I'm much like the Bengals. I'm not ready to believe in the Panthers yet.
And this is probably a bad take, but it's just one I've kind of always had and probably always will have. You know how people say, like, hey, the Packers are always dangerous because of Aaron Rodgers? That's how I feel about Cam Newton.
I don't think that's a bad take. I think that's a perfect take. I agree with you 100%.
I understand there are flaws in Cam Newton's game.
Sure.
He is far from the best quarterback in the league, but a guy with his skill set has the ability to take over a game. And the Panthers will always be scary because of their quarterback.
I think that's a perfect take. I completely agree with you. Cam Newton is a weapon, and on any given Sunday, Cam Newton can go 35 of 38 for 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, and rush for a couple.
Right. I actually want to ask you a question. In terms of what we talked about the Bengals and the Panthers and who do you believe in?
Yeah.
I actually want to expand that a little bit. We can't now. But next segment, I want to expand on that because it feels like this NFL season has less parity than ever.
All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about the Niners and Raiders, but we'll lead off with Kyle's question. Fifth down territory, if you will, next, right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
The Kings make their home preseason debut tonight as they return to Golden One Center to play Maccabi Haifa.
An unbelievable shot, and the fans just going absolutely crazy.
Get the call from the G-Man starting at 7 here on your home of the Kings, Sports 1140 KHTK.
Yeah, I got to remember these cameras are on when I'm stretching. Carmichael Dave here for my good friends over at NorCal Lipo. That's right. Yep, and I'm watching the replay. Oh, boy. Carmichael Dave here for my good friend. That's just a laugh from me. Dr. Jack and everybody over there at NorCal Lipo do amazing, amazing work. And all you got to do is go to NorCalLipo.com and look at the pretty pictures. And I'm not talking about the supermodels on the front page. I'm talking about the photos of real people just like you and me that have had issues. Whether you're just a lazy person like myself who enjoys pot pies and Hot Pockets and playing video games, or you're somebody who does work hard, does go to the gym, and whether it's by metabolism, genetics, whatever it may be, maybe 90% of your body's where you want it to be, but you just can't get that last 10%, whatever it may be. Let Dr. Jack help you out with his Vaser and Vaser high-def technology. He has changed so many lives. Don't take my word for it. Never take my word for anything. Go get yourself a free, no-obligation consultation from him today, right there in Roseville at 347-7755, 916-347-7755 at NorCalLipo.com. That's NorCalLipo.com. Get there today. And you tell him your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Big things are happening at Stockton Honda with the introduction of the all-new redesigned 2019 Honda Insight Hybrid. This premium compact sedan provides appealing style and fuel efficiency that rivals other leading hybrid models. You gotta check out this premium compact sedan, the 2019 Honda Insight Hybrid. You won't be disappointed. Come in today and meet our friendly staff or go to StocktonHonda.com. Stockton Honda, anytime, anywhere.
Golfers, come play Teal Bend Golf Course as we pay tribute to the classic movie Caddyshack. Join us on Saturday, October 20th at Teal Bend Golf Course. Pay $75. And here's what you get. Green fee plus cart and range balls, a sleeve of Pro V1s for your round of golf, and our post-event All-American Buffet, plus a chance to win prizes during and after your round of golf, and be the best-dressed character from Caddyshack to win a special prize. For details, call 916-922-5209. Play golf holes for one day and one day only. Holes like the no-flag hole, the tractor hole, along with other unique and fun holes. Join us for the Caddyshack Open. Spend the day with family and friends. Reserve your spot. Call 916-922-5209. It happens Saturday, October 20th with a shotgun start at 8 a.m. For details, call 916-922-5209. That's 916-922-5209.
Every once in a while, bam! Something happens and you need money fast. Well, LoanMe can loan you from $2,600 to $100,000, and the money can be in your bank account in hours. That's right. And since our loans are unsecured, we don't need your car title or any other collateral, just your signature, because we trust you, even if you have less than perfect credit. Sure, the money's a little expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than a payday loan, and you make just one fixed payment every month. And to keep interest expense down, use the money to get out of the jam you're in and then pay it back at any time with no penalties or fees. So take 5 minutes and call 8443-LOAN-ME or log on to loanme.com for the money you need. That's 8443-LOAN-ME or loanme.com.
Not all applicants will qualify. Loan approval and terms subject to credit standards. See loanme.com for details. Loans made pursuant to California Department of Business Oversight Finance Lender License 603K061.
That's 8443-LOAN-ME or loanme.com.
Would you like to see actual magic? All you have to do is call 1-800-GOT-JUNK and prepare to be amazed. We make junk disappear right before your eyes. All you have to do is point. Send us a signal and we'll be there. In clean, shiny trucks. In snappy, happy uniforms. Point at anything you wish was gone. Gone! We work until midnight, 7 days a week. All you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Elk Grove Honda brings you this look at weather. Sunny and warm today. We're going to reach a high of 85 degrees this afternoon. Elk Grove Honda is offering express service hours on Sundays. Get your oil changed, tires rotated, filters replaced, and more between 9 and 3 every Sunday. Elk Grove Honda. Quality, reliability, and Sunday service. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Sports 1140 KHTK's coverage of high school football is presented by Wingstop. Listen every Friday night to the Wingstop High School Football Wrap-Up Show and get all the coverage on KHTK.com.
Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. I don't know why I went NPR there for a second.
You really did.
This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. Hey, the football teams in the Bay Area are not that good. They're both 1-4 after the Raiders fell to the Chargers 26-10 down in Los Angeles yesterday. The 49ers, they were at home against the previously winless Cardinals but lost 28-18. The Brewers completed a sweep of the Rockies in their NL division series with a 6-0 win at Coors Field. So the Brewers are on to the NLCS. They will face the winner of Braves-Dodgers, which got extended last night thanks to a 6-5 win by the Braves. The Dodgers still lead that series 2-1. Game 4 of that series is this afternoon. The Astros will go for a sweep of the Indians in the American League Division Series. That's in Cleveland and happening later on this morning. While Game 3 of the other American League Division Series between the Yankees and Red Sox happens later tonight. That series is tied up at a game apiece. Those are your top stories, and now it's back to the drive with Carmichael Dave on Sports 1140 KHTK.
It's The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
We're getting to football here in just a second. Texter just said, hey, Graham Gano and Sebastian Janikowski both had huge kicks over the weekend, a weekend that was marred by terrible kicking. He said, why does it seem like so many good kickers went to Florida State? Well, I'll give you a quick answer. Because growing up in the 80s and early 90s, Florida State was known for things like wide right and wide left because all our kickers sucked. And then we went and grabbed a guy. It became a almost as big a deal as recruiting a quarterback. or a running back was to grab a
5-star kicker?
Yes. And it all started with a guy named Scott Bentley, who finally got us a national championship. And then we had guys like Sebastian Janikowski, guys like Graham Gano.
Roberto Aguayo.
Well, and Roberto Aguayo, who's a joke in the NFL.
But dominant college kicker.
Was one of the greatest college kickers in history and still holds a couple of records. And Roberto Aguayo's little brother, as a matter of fact.
Sebastian Aguayo.
Ricky Aguayo.
Uh-huh.
Right now, he's going to be Ricky Aguayo is going to be drafted in the NFL, and he will be a kicker in the NFL, and because he's tearing it up for Florida State right now, although he had a missed kick over the weekend against Miami. But he might be better than his brother was, but he's going to get screwed because his brother choked so hard in the NFL. People are just going to assume Ricky does it as well. Just file this away. My guess, and I'll bet you I'm right, is in about 2-3 years, you're going to start seeing stories about how Ricky Aguayo, I'm not my brother, even though I love him. And Ricky Aguayo is going to be doing great things in the NFL as a kicker. So that's why it seems like great kickers come out of FSU, because they have to.
Speaking of which,
who's which?
Were you satisfied with Florida State's performance this weekend?
Oh, come on. No.
Okay.
No.
Because
it was close?
Yeah.
No.
So that was it, because it was with the A's. Like, cool, they made the wild card game. They fell flat in the wild card game. Not satisfying, but they got there when they shouldn't have. Miami was favored by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and Florida State went out to a huge lead, and then they got scared. And it showed.
Stop playing to win and playing not to win.
Yeah, I would almost rather them gotten blown out, because my hopes would have never gotten up.
Sure.
I made the dumb, stupid-ass mistake of tweeting out. I tweeted something like, it wasn't like, we're going to win. It wasn't anything like that.
Was it the GIF?
It was something, was it the GIF? What did I tweet? I tweeted something that was positive.
Right, I remember.
And I never tweet anything positive. It's probably my fault they lost. Anyway, that team sucks. The coach sucks. Everything about it sucks. What was your question going in? We have a 5th down here.
Okay, so I was looking at some NFL scores yesterday, and a lot of teams I thought were good either lost or played close games against teams I thought were really bad. So I pose this question to you.
Okay.
You have $1,000.
I got $1,000
to bet.
Okay.
You're getting the same odds on each thing here.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick the Rams or Chiefs to win the Super Bowl or the field.
I believe right now that is your Super Bowl. I believe right now.
Right. So if those two teams match up in the Super Bowl, you win.
I win, no matter what.
Right.
But I have watched the NFL long enough to know that it is more likely than not that 5 games less than a third of the way through the year, generally the best teams right now, or at least one of them, will not factor in the Super Bowl. It could very well end up being the Steelers again.
Right.
It could end up being the Eagles
Patriots.
or the Patriots or the Vikings. I've seen this story play out too many times. So my answer to you is this. I believe right now that's your Super Bowl. But if I was given those odds, I would have to be unemotional about it, and I would take the field.
Yeah, I think that's like if you're calculating odds in your head. But I don't know if I would be able to look away from what the Chiefs and Rams are both doing right now.
No, they're great.
The Rams should have lost yesterday and still found a way to pull it out and win. The Chiefs got a dare I say poor performance from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And still put a beat down on the Jaguars.
Sure. And remember, they play the Patriots next week at Foxborough.
Yes.
And then the Bengals, which, hey, the Bengals are, 4-1.
Chiefs' schedule doesn't get easy.
No. So far, they have won in L.A. against the Chargers. They've won in Pittsburgh. They beat the Niners. They went into Denver and beat the Broncos, and they just beat the Jaguars, who everybody, including me, thought was really the best team in the AFC, and I picked the Jaguars to win this game. Oops. But, dude, again, I've seen this story before with Andy Reid.
No, I know I'm with you, but Patrick Mahomes is not Alex Smith.
He's not. No, he's not.
Although maybe he's Donovan McNabb.
But Andy Reid is still Andy Reid.
Understood.
But boy, do they have a lot of weapons.
And so do the Rams.
God.
Like, all you need is one of those two teams to have it figured out all year.
And with the Rams, and I have a lot more faith in the Rams, even though the Chiefs have looked more unstoppable and have played a tougher schedule. But I have more faith in the Rams because not only do they have perhaps the best offense in the league.
Yeah, the best coach in the league.
They have the best coach in the league.
Second best coach in the league.
They have one of the best coaches in the
There
league.
we go.
And they have, and while their defense is not perfect, especially linebacker issues, that front line has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
They can make plays on both sides of the ball, and I can't really say that about the Chiefs. Sure, they can make plays, but are you really looking at the Chiefs' defense to step up when you need it? I can see that from the Rams. I think maybe part of the problem with the Rams' defense is that they just haven't really needed to step up. That's part of the problem. So, yeah, I've seen this story too many times, man.
No, I feel you.
And we're going to go from Patrick.
And you're getting 30 teams versus 2.
Sure. We're going to go from Mahomes and Hunt and Hill. We're going to go from that to Fred Smith, who gains 134 yards in the second round of the playoffs for the New England Patriots. We're going to look at pick the 5th receiver on the roster who's going to have 3 touchdowns in a game against for the Patriots. That type
Chris
of thing.
Hogan's having an awful year. He's going
Correct.
to come in with a huge playoff game.
And I think the Rams reminded me very much of the Cubs to go cross sport. We've talked about this a couple of years ago. The year before the Cubs won the World Series, and everybody said, they shouldn't even been in the playoffs this year. They're early.
Yeah.
The Rams reminded me of that last year, getting knocked out in the first round. I do have confidence in them, but at the same time, the Vikings and the Eagles, they're also made to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Those are very good teams who have, again, a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. They're not the flashiest team.
Who still have, 12 weeks to get it figured out?
Yes.
Like, you need a team right now that the Eagles are 1-3?
Yes.
Is that right?
Is that right? I think they're 1-3, yeah. Anyways, make your point. I'll look it up.
So the Eagles are not playing well.
No, they are not.
The Eagles are a 6-game winning streak from being right back in it. They're 2-3 in a not very good division. So I see your point. The Eagles rip off 6 in a row. All of a sudden they're sitting at 8-3, and it's like, oh, hey, here come the defending champs.
Eagles still have the Panthers and the Jags, Cowboys and Saints. Eagles in LA versus the Rams going to be interesting, but they also have the Redskins, the Texans. They have the Redskins twice.
Let's do this. I'm going to run down the teams, and you're going to tell me whether you could see them winning a Super Bowl.
This year. Okay.
And Super Bowl, what is it, 52?
Whatever it is, yeah.
Whatever, 53? Chiefs.
Yes.
Rams.
Yes.
Bengals.
No.
Bears. I'm saying yes to the Bears, dude. In a league where nobody can get a stop, the Bears defense is very, very good.
That's why I'm pausing. But here's my problem. My problem is, as fun as Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen are, as interesting as Mitchell Trubisky is, I don't trust that offense yet. I will say this.
Okay.
I think they have a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Okay.
Beyond a doubt.
And you think the offense just isn't there?
And, I mean, when you look through history, can you imagine a Bears team winning a Super Bowl with an average offense and a world-beating defense?
No, we've never seen it before. No.
I'm going to say no, but no with an asterisk on the Bears.
I'm going yes on the Bears.
Okay.
Is that to say that offense wins championships now? Okay. Saints?
No.
Panthers?
No.
I'm saying yes because of Cam. I'm sticking with my
win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I'm with you on Cam leading them to the playoffs.
You don't think the Saints could do it?
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. The Washingtons?
No.
New England?
Yes.
Tennessee?
No.
The Chargers?
No.
I'm interested to see how the Chargers look with Joey Bosa back.
Mm-hmm. They'll look better. Much better.
Ravens?
No.
Dolphins?
Nope.
Jags?
Yes.
So Jags, yes. Bears, no.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's fascinating.
But hear me out on why I think that's the case.
Please.
Because the Jags are a couple years ahead of the Bears. I do believe in that process in football. It's not foolproof.
I'm taking that. So I had a similar thought, but I'm taking it as we've seen enough sample size of Blake Bortles to know he can't win games.
He can win games. It just depends. Are you going to get Blake Bortles throwing footballs off of guys' helmets, Bortles, or are you going to get Bortles that just does just enough to win? We've
seen through this is year 5 that you're going to get more of the latter than the former.
True. I feel like they've been there before.
Okay.
They're a year ahead of the Bears, and that's the only reason I mention it.
Okay. Buccaneers?
No.
Packers?
I'm very tempted to say anytime Aaron Rodgers, much like you said, Cam Newton.
That's what I'm.
But I just think the Packers are. I think that here, spoiler alert.
It's gonna be good.
I think the Packers are a 3-13 team without Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
they're horrible.
They're not good.
No, at all. So
Mike McCarthy is a bad.
He's a bad coach, and they're a bad team with some talent.
Yeah, and so the Aaron Rodgers factor, normally I would say, yeah, dude, he's banged up. He's just not himself.
Right. I don't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
They'll probably get hot and win 6 games in a row at some point this year. Get everybody excited.
Yeah, they'll get to like 9-7.
Much like they did last year.
Vikings?
Yes.
Browns?
Okay, no. Of course no. And there's no but on that. Of course, emphatically, no, the Browns cannot win the Super Bowl this year. But the Browns, I think, by the end of the year, have a chance of being the team you look at and go, oh my God, I can't wait till next year with these guys.
Sure.
Like they really, the Browns this year are what every Kings fan wishes they could get out of this year.
The Browns this year are what you thought the Rams were going to be last year.
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
My other thing is when one of my favorite Twitter things, I think it's funny on Twitter when
I think it's funny.
People try and make like a profound thing and they're like, this is a hot tweet. I'm sending this. I do that dumb stuff all the time. Like one favorite. It's like, oh, okay, that was stupid. But I saw this multiple times. Like the Browns now have more wins than the Raiders and the 49ers. Like, yeah, because the Browns are way better than both of them.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Shout out to the Texans going to go, the Raiders just beat the Browns. I think the Browns win that game 7 times out of 10.
I agree with you. And you know what? That's what's supposed to happen when you suck for so long.
Yes.
And you have high draft picks and you pick those people. But credit to the Browns. Let's make sure we have the proper hindsight here. How many people were going, what? When you started to see the reports that Baker Mayfield was going to go number 1. It was Sam Darnold. It was not Baker Mayfield. There were draft experts that had Baker Mayfield in the second half of the top 10. Thought he was Johnny Manziel part 2. Credit the Browns. You have to credit them for saying this is our guy. Let me put it another way. The Browns drafting Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, you had fans with similar takes that Kings fans, always going to tie it to the Kings, had about the Kings drafting Marvin Bagley. And what they said in Cleveland is the same thing Vlade said here. That's our guy. We don't care.
Yep.
Remember, why did Cleveland trade down to 4? They could have gotten made. They took their guy. They didn't screw around.
Hey, same thing with Denzel Ward at the number 4 pick.
Yeah.
They couldn't have traded down to 4. They had the number 4 pick, didn't they? The 1 and 4.
Yeah, that's where they got. Wasn't it
Denzel Ward?
Yes. They had 1 and 4.
And same thing. That got criticized. He's like, you could have had Bradley Chubb and Miles. Denzel Ward's been a dynamite player for them on the perimeter.
By the way, we're way early here because it may turn out that Sam Darnold's a Hall of Famer, that Baker Mayfield is Johnny Manziel.
We're firing off 5-week takes.
Very fire hot takes.
Steelers.
As long as the Steelers have that core of Tomlin, Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell, although he's not there right now, I've seen that movie too many times.
Right. I don't think the Steelers will win the Super Bowl.
I don't either.
And that's something I think we need to. This isn't like, oh, I would put money on this team to win. It's just like, could you foresee it? My point is that there aren't a lot of teams that you could see winning a Super Bowl this year. So the Steelers, you say yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's very realistic that Le'Veon Bell comes back in week 8, is it? And
yes.
they rip off 8 straight wins.
He's supposed to be back with the team in week 7 for their bye week and then come back in week 8.
So that they'd have what, 9 games left?
They'd have
so
9
they'd play
games
6. Left. No, week 8 they'd have 10 games left.
Yes.
I could see
correct.
them ripping off like 7 in a row there.
Well, let's take a look here, just real quick there, young Kyle. They have the bye week after the Panthers game. They come back. They're playing in Jacksonville, so that's a good start. Then they go to Denver and play the Broncos. Then they host the Chargers. Then they go to Oakland. Then they come back for the Patriots at the Saints, home Bengals.
Yikes.
Woof.
Hey, but if they're going to win their division, they have to win those division games. Like
yes.
Okay, so Steelers, you say yes. Seahawks?
No.
Cowboys?
No.
Lions?
No.
Bills?
No.
Texans?
Nope.
Eagles?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Jets?
Oh, God, no. Sorry, I was distracted.
Broncos?
No.
Falcons?
No.
And then Cardinals, Niners, Raiders, Colts, Giants.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so there were what, like 4 teams there? Mm-hmm. You said yes? You said Chiefs, Rams.
Oh, I said more than.
Chiefs, Rams, Patriots.
Steelers.
Jags, Steelers.
Yeah. Eagles, Vikings. I said yes to like 8, 9 teams.
Okay.
But let me ask you this. Is that different from most other seasons?
No. I think the difference this year is how top heavy it seems with the Chiefs and Rams. They seem after week 5, they seem so far ahead of everybody else. Like, I look at those 2 teams and I'm like, yeah, that's the obvious Super Bowl matchup. After week 5.
I think part of the problem is that we are also used to having other teams in that situation. Like, oh, the Patriots are dominant. We're going with them. Peyton Manning's Broncos are dominant. We're going to go with them. The Seattle Seahawks and the Legion Boom, they're dominant. We're going with them. These are some newish teams when you have the Chiefs. Right, exactly. We have a transition at the throne of power here.
Really excited for this to all come back to bite me when the Chiefs blow like a 13-point lead to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. It's going to be great.
I mean, when they had didn't the Chiefs, when they had Priest Holmes, start out 9-0 or 11-0 or something stupid like that? This was 10 years ago.
You're holding that against the Chiefs?
I think there are situations, and I don't believe in them, where you go, well, this team did this, did this 10 times in 1974. Well, none of the same rosters there. Right. I'm not indifferent to that. But Andy Reid constructs his teams, and Andy Reid hasn't been there forever, by the way. We still remember, what's-his-face, Schottenheimer, who was guilty of that quite a bit. But Andy Reid's been known to start off strong before, and those Chiefs have been known to start off strong before. And by the way, is Patrick Mahomes ready? Is he ready to win a Super Bowl in his first year of starting?
I'm having a hard time putting anything past him as I watch him.
He looks tremendous. He really looks tremendous. I don't know, man. The NFL just has a neat way of evening out. We got to get to the Niners and Raiders a little bit. We'll also fly around the league next. The Browns, the Chiefs. Looks like the Steelers might have woken up a little bit, and the Vikings as well. So we still have a lot of football to talk about. We're going to get to that UFC fallout as well at 8:35. We talked at 6:30 about the fights at 8:30, I want to go behind the scenes a little bit as to why that was so bad and why the UFC and the commissions have a little blood on their hands. We'll talk football more next, right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.